Welcome back to Mystery Vault, guys. Today we're diving into one of India's hidden horror thriller gems, the Marathi masterpiece Jarann. Trust me, the story and suspense in this one will blow your mind. So, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into this terrifying ride. The movie kicks off with Radha dropping her daughter Sai at school. She comes back home, and right away you notice something's off. Her facial expressions keep shifting like she's battling some serious inner demons. She goes to a psychiatrist and tells him her mom keeps pulling her back to their old ancestral house in the village. She's super nostalgic, she misses it bad. Her parents were actually planning to sell that house and turn the land into a resort. The doctor tells Radha she should go back, face it. But Radha's terrified, she says everything will start again. That house is full of bad memories for her. The doctor hands her meds and tells her to write all her feelings in a diary. So Radha heads to the village with her daughter Sai. Her cousins are supposed to meet them there. She takes her pills, asks Sai for the water bottle, but Sai ignores her. Radha grabs it herself, drinks, then calls her husband Shekhar. She's been missing him like crazy because he's been away for a whole year. She tries to put Sai on the phone, but Sai refuses to talk to him. While she's talking, another call comes in. Radha cuts it off because she's finally talking to Shekhar. They finally reach the ancestral house. Radha steps in, but Sai just stands outside. Radha's face starts doing that weird thing again. Inside, she meets her cousin brother and sisters, Piyu and Priyanka. Everyone's super happy to see her. She calls Sai in, and Sai finally walks inside. Radha sits down with her dad. He says they're selling the house because every tenant who ever lived there ran away, and after it's sold, he'll come live with her. Radha says there's no need, she's handling everything fine. But deep down, it's her dream for her husband, daughter, and parents to all live together. Later, Hamwar Radha? At night, everyone is taking turns singing songs. When Radha's daughter Sai suddenly disappears from her sight, Radha goes out looking for her. After a while, when Radha herself is not found, her mother also goes out searching for her. Radha's daughter Sai was standing right next to that same door. The door little Radha had once peeped through as a child and seen something that terrified her for life. Now when Radha peeks inside, there's just a doll lying there. When Radha's mother finally reaches that spot looking for her, Radha is completely out of her senses and is humming a creepy tune. The moment her mother calls out to her, Radha's facial expression changes completely. In a terrifying voice, she tells her mother to shut up and screams that her life is ruined. Hearing this, her mother screams. Because of that scream, the whole family rushes there. There, Radha tells everyone that her daughter Sai found this doll and named it Bhagabai. Her mother immediately tells her that this doll belonged to a witch, and it's an evil, possessed doll. But Radha is a modern girl and doesn't believe in any of this superstitious stuff. And since the doll was found by her daughter, it will now stay with her daughter. The entire family is shocked seeing this. After the incident of the previous night, the next day Radha's mother calls Rout Auntie, the same lady who used to remove evil eye from Radha in childhood. Even today, she performs the evil eye ritual on Radha. After that, she calls little Sai to remove her evil eye too. And now Radha herself performs the ritual on her daughter and tells Sai, "If your father was here, I would have done it for him too." Seeing Radha's deteriorating condition, her father now talks to his friend, who is Radha's doctor. The doctor says she is on medication and there's no need for her parents to worry. Seeing Radha's condition, the next day her mother calls Pandit Ji. She tells him everything, and before purifying the house, Pandit Ji first goes to that room where the doll was found. Before opening the lock, he chants mantras and sprinkles holy water. On the other side, the three sisters are dressed exactly like their childhood days and clicking photos. Panditji comes to meet Radha. Seeing him, Radha becomes very happy, and he blesses her to remain Saubhagyavati, happily married. Radha is overjoyed because she has a good husband and a daughter. Before leaving, Panditji gives Radha's mother a sacred red thread, kalawa, for protection, and ties it on Radha's wrist. Radha now asks for the keys to the storeroom. Her mother doesn't want her to go into the dark, but on Radha's stubbornness, she hands over the keys. The three sisters go to the storeroom and look at all their childhood stuff. They find the old dice set with which Radha used to call spirits and scare everyone in childhood. Piyu wants to play that game again, but Priyanka doesn't want to. Here, Priyanka sees Radha laughing in a very strange way. Radha tells her that ghosts and spirits don't exist. But Piyu says that to play the dice spirit game, you first have to believe in ghosts. So the three of them sit down, hold each other's hands, and Radha calls the spirit. First, a pigeon flies in, scaring them badly, and the names on the dice aren't clear. So Radha calls the spirits again. But right then, Radha's mother calls them. So they leave the dice and go. They never saw whose name had actually appeared on the dice dot. That night, everyone is talking about Radha's mental condition. Priyanka tells them that today they had called spirits, and suddenly Radha gripped their hands very tightly and was looking upwards, laughing in a creepy way. Friends, that night, Radha is having trouble sleeping. Suddenly her eyes open and her daughter Sai is missing. She searches the whole house. Sai is sitting right next to that doll, and the doll is talking to her. Radha takes her away from there, but Sai wants to sleep with the doll. Radha tells her there's no life in it. It doesn't sleep. As soon as morning comes, Sai takes the doll with her because that day they are returning home. Radha's mother tells her to go with the driver because she doesn't want anything to happen to Radha on the way. Hearing this, Radha's body starts reacting very strangely. She gets furious and, to stay away, calls her husband, Shekhar. When her father asks for the phone to talk to Shekhar, Radha tries hard to avoid it, saying it's very late at night and he'll talk tomorrow. But on her father's insistence, Radha finally gives the phone. Friends, that phone was broken and switched off. Seeing this, Radha starts crying because she remembers that her husband died in an accident. Remembering that pain hurts her a lot. But she'd already accepted the truth and was living normally with her daughter. Though it was very difficult for her to accept, she had started living normally. That's why she wants to change her doctor now, and she goes to a counselor. We still see Radha taking pills. The counselor asks about her daughter. Radha says after the accident, her daughter doesn't talk much and lives in her own world. The counselor also learns that Radha sometimes writes. Radha feels she needs someone to talk to, but when the counselor asks her to talk, Radha says, "I'm not ready yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet." And leaves. That night, Radha is working when she hears whispering, but no one is there. Friends, Radha's daughter had brought that doll home. Radha is still not completely okay because even her mother's call irritates her terribly. Seeing her condition, the neighbor is shocked. The maid who works at home tells Radha to throw away that doll because it scares her a lot. She feels the doll is staring at her. Radha just laughs. But when the maid says to change the clock, Radha tells her if she can't work, she can leave because she wants Sai to get food on time. Hearing this, the maid goes back to work. That night, Radha hears Sai laughing. When she goes to her room, a monkey soft toy suddenly flies toward her. This drives Radha crazy. When she sees her daughter still playing with that doll, she gets furious and throws the doll down. People passing by the house even hear Radha screaming. Now Radha apologizes to her daughter and explains that the doll has no life. But her daughter explains that it's not lifeless. It plays with her and talks to her. Hearing this, Radha is stunned. Next day, Radha again talks to the counselor and says she feels some presence in the house, but it's not just in her mind. This is actually happening, but she doesn't believe in ghosts. Friends, here we learn that horror was Radha's favorite genre. She used to write horror stories in childhood. When the counselor asks for the diary, Radha says she doesn't know where it is now. When she returns home, the maid tells her that Sai hasn't eaten anything for 2 days and food is getting wasted. So don't cook. Hearing this, Radha loses it and tells the maid to leave. The neighbor hears this too. That night, Radha's doctor calls and asks why she isn't coming for treatment. Radha says she doesn't need treatment. She's taking counseling. The doctor says, "Come meet me tomorrow." Now Radha hears a sound from the window. When she goes to close it, she sees a woman standing on the glass who disappears in a second. Then she hears Sai singing. She sees the doll is back again. She asks her daughter why she's still playing with it. Sai says, "I didn't bring the doll, she came by herself." Hearing this, Radha loses control and throws the doll in the trash, and the sacred thread on her wrist falls there too. Radha finds her childhood diary in which stories are written. The counselor sees those stories and Radha tells her everything that has been troubling her. And here comes the twist. Friends, when Radha was little. A woman named Ganguti used to live in their house on rent and practiced black magic. Everyone was troubled by her black magic. They even asked Radha's mother to throw her out. Ganguti didn't want anyone to interfere in her work. Radha's mother warned her that if she didn't stop black magic, she would be thrown out. But Ganguti threatened Radha's mother that she could destroy her entire family in one night. One day, while doing black magic, everyone caught her and threw her out of the village and the house. Ganguti wanted revenge for this, so one day, she came back saying she forgot her stuff. Radha's parents weren't home. She went to that same room where Sai later found the doll and performed black magic, which little Radha saw by peeking through the door. Just then, Radha's parents came home, heard Ganguti's voice, and threw her out again. That was the day Ganguti cursed Radha that she would never live a single peaceful day in her life. After that, Radha started falling sick frequently. Her mother tried every possible remedy. After that incident, Ganguti's dead body was found by the villagers, and no one knows how she died. That while Radha is telling all this to the counselor, she suddenly remembers she left her daughter at the neighbor's, so she starts leaving. The counselor asks for her doctor's number. Radha writes a number and leaves. The counselor takes photos of the diary and sends them to someone. She learns that the lines written in it are extremely powerful mantras that can even bring the dead back to life. Now the counselor gets worried for Radha and calls the doctor's number Radha gave. But that number is actually Priyanka's. She asks Priyanka for Radha's real doctor. That night, Radha sees someone opening the gate and entering their house. Standing at her door is her dead husband, Shekhar. Seeing him, Radha is shocked. He disappears the next second. This gives her so much anxiety that she takes pills again. Meanwhile, the counselor and doctor talk. The doctor says Radha's condition is very critical right now. Not only Radha, but everyone around her is in danger. And since the counselor lives nearby, she should go to Radha immediately. On the other side, Radha's husband, Shekhar, is still trying to enter. Radha keeps telling herself none of this is real. She wants to take her daughter and leave the house immediately. But as soon as she goes upstairs, she is shocked. Her daughter still has that doll. The moment Radha steps forward to take the doll away, the doll throws Radha aside and stares at her. Seeing this, her daughter is smiling. Radha runs downstairs and sees her husband has entered the house. She attacks him, then runs to get her daughter, but Sai has disappeared. Radha hears Ganguti's laughter. She sees her daughter playing with Ganguti, and now both of them start playing with Radha. At that moment, the counselor arrives and tries to stop Radha and Shekhar together. Ganguti tells Radha to kill both of them, saying everything is just in her mind. But Radha is convinced everything is real. Ganguti keeps saying her husband is dead and has come as a ghost, and tells her to kill them again and again. So Radha attacks them. Then the doctor arrives, and here comes the best scene of the movie. Radha and Ganguti speak the exact same line at the same time. Just before Radha can kill the counselor, the doctor injects her with a sedative. Right before passing out completely, Radha sees Ganguti disappearing. And here comes the biggest twist. Radha learns the truth. In the accident, it wasn't her husband who died. It was her daughter. Friends, since childhood. Radha was a highly imaginative girl who created an entire world in her imagination and started believing it was real. Then Ganguti came into her life, cursed her, and Radha became convinced that because of the curse, something bad would happen to her. And after that, she fell ill. She believed Ganguti's spirit had entered her, so she used to behave like Ganguti. Her father believed in religion, but seeing her worsening condition, he wanted medical treatment, so he got her treated. After treatment, Radha became fine. But her mother believes it was because of their prayers and rituals that Radha got better. But friends, the biggest twist was still left. The daughter Radha had been talking to this whole time doesn't actually exist. Radha never had a daughter. When the accident happened, she was 3 months pregnant and had a miscarriage. At that time, she saw a neighbor's girl named Sai, the same name Radha wanted to give her daughter. And Radha got so attached that in her imagination, she turned that girl into her own daughter. Her family kept trying to make her understand that Sai isn't real, and whoever told her the truth became her enemy. That's why Radha fought with her real husband. She left her real husband to live with her imaginary daughter. Her husband knew about her illness. After treatment, Radha became okay, they got married, and were living a normal life. But then the accident happened. Radha lost her unborn child, and this trauma brought back her condition. That's why whenever Radha talked to her daughter, her family would just stare in shock. Friends, remember? That extra call Radha got in the car? That was from the real Shekhar, which Radha cut. Because for her, the imaginary husband was more real. The real Shekhar used to talk only to Radha's fathers. Now we see Radha has become normal again and apologizes to everyone for her behavior. After recovering, her mother organizes a puja at the house, and her father is getting the house vacated. Friends, patients like Radha need people who believe in their imagination to prove it's real. And in this case, that person was the counselor. That's why Radha gave her the wrong doctor's number. Because if the counselor talked to the real doctor, the truth would come out, and Radha would have to accept reality, which was very hard for her. But the counselor still doesn't understand how the doll Radha threw outside came back inside on its own. The doctor says Radha lied and brought it back herself. Anything is possible. The counselor says, exactly, anything is possible. Meaning she isn't fully convinced. Friends, In the end, we see that on the dice they had left behind, the name Ganguti had appeared, and the cleaning guy just removes it. And the story ends right there. So friends, now you tell me, what was the real reason for Radha's condition? Superstition or mental illness? The movie leaves the decision to the audience. What was the actual reason? I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll meet you in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, keep hunting, lots of love.